Hello friends, welcome to Kiss Up Cards. Keep it simple stamping up. I'm Mary Ann and I'm coming to you from just between Kemptville and Winchester. I'm out in the country. I do say south of Ottawa, but yes, I'm halfway between Kemptville and Winchester, which are south of Ottawa. I'm coming to you tonight to share with you simple card making. That's my motto. Simple, quick, easy. Anyone can do it. Some would like to argue with me that they can't. Perseverance. I didn't think I could do it at first either. I was working with scrapbooking paper that I was trying to use up into cards because I had a lot of that. And I was making all kinds of mistakes. And I thought, how am I going to do this? Well, I want to talk to you about mistakes. Last Thursday, I came on here. I showed you how to do a bookbinding card. And it was fun. But I was like, this is terrible. As I'm showing you guys, I'm like, I have been making so many mistakes. It is incredible. So I felt like I had to come back and share with you guys the proper way of doing bookbinding cards. I still created beautiful cards last week, but I was shaving off. It was too big. My measurements were off. It was last Thursday, even at work, even at home, even getting ready for work in the morning. It was just not a good day for me. And some days we have days like that. And then I came today to doing the bookbinding card, and you're going to see it on my craft table. I've already videotaped them. How come it's going so easy tonight? And it does. That's how it happens. So if you're getting frustrated and you're thinking you're never going to do it, just walk away for a while and then come back. And I just find that walking away and coming back after a certain amount of time really helps. So for me, I walked away for a few days and I was like, okay. The measurements that I put in the bottom, in the description, in the details, they're perfect. It was the person following the instructions. I wasn't even measuring properly. It was a fiasco. So if you want to watch this video first and then go back and watch the other one for comedy, by all means do that. But I think it shows you that even when we're a card maker and we're working away with it at all times, we don't always get it straight or right either. It happens. But don't let that get your knickers in a twist. You're going to hear me say that a lot. And just embrace it as part of the creative process. So we learn something from it every time. So let's go to my craft table and let's see how, when we use the measurements and do it properly, each step by step, how well it goes. Come to my craft table. All right, here we are at my crafting table, and we're revisiting the bookbinding card as I'm going to show you the proper way to measure. I was in a funk last video I did, and you'll see that's why I get myself in some weird situations is when I don't measure properly. So measuring properly is the key. If you want to see how I measured, go back to my last video. Okay, so you're gonna have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And I'm going to make a card using this paper, and I think I'm going to pick another one. I'm going to show you two different designs to do on the bookbinding card. One was, I'm going to take one of the first cards that I showed you and put it on the bookbinding card, so it'll have a little bit of a, it's that same idea, but we're just implementing it in a different folded card. All right, so I am taking my measurements that I put on my YouTube video from last week, and I'm going to follow them the right way. On the 8.5 section, the short side is going to be up at the top of my cutter, and I'm going to cut. You're always working in halves when you're doing this, mostly. When you're doing an A2 card, you're always working in halves. So I'm going to cut at 4 1/4 because that is half of 8 1/2. I always have to stop and think about that one. Now I'm going to turn it around. See, I'm going to get 2 cards. Now I could have scored at the 5 1/2 first, because I always do score first so I can get 2 cards, but I just wanted to show you that this is a little different. So I scored it at 5 1/2, and I scored there, and I can hardly see my score line, so I'm going to really, there we go. You can see the score line. So I scored at 4 1/2, 5 1/2, and now I'm going to score at 6 3/4, which means I need to bring my arm out and go to 6 3/4. And I'm going to, so that's how I'm going to do it, is score at 6 3/4. So then the card will be this way. All right, so I'm going to fold on the 5 1/2. This part will eventually get glued down on the inside, so I will show you that. And this fold is going to go back like this. So that makes a really nice fold. There you go. Okay, so I'll show you again. I score at 5 1/2. And I'm just following the directions and I'll put them again in the details below this video as well. And then I'm going to score at 6 3/4. So then I'm going to fold at the 5 1/2 mark, just fold my card in half. And then this, we're just going to bend back to get that burnished fold on it. And this is the front of our card. This is going to get glued down so that it opens like this, but we're not going to do that yet because we want to decorate what we call the spine of the book card. So now this front piece is going to be 4 by 4. So you know what? Oh gosh. All of this paper is just so gorgeous. I love that too. I think I'm going to use that. Oh, I just love this paper. So this is going to be a 4 by 4 square. So I'm going to cut that into 4 by 4. Just turn this and cut it in. So that will be on the front of our card. See how, if you watch my last video, I was shaving things off, and just because I didn't measure properly. But when you measure properly, now what's the back? That's a green. That would be pretty, but let's see what the B side is of this paper. I do like the blue. I do like the purple as well. And there's some florals there, so I don't think I'll add that. I want to make it plain. I think I'm going to go with the purple. So this one is going to be, I'm just looking at my measurements, a 4 by 1. So I'm going to cut, I'm going to make the 1-inch cut first. Now this is very ombre, I should say. So I might take a look at that and say, where I think I like, because this has darks in it, I think I'm going to go from this up to here. So I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. There we go. I have a little piece. I'll throw in my little pile. And there we go. Oh, that's going to look gorgeous. Then this one, we'll use for this we're going to use for the envelope and the inside of the card. This one I'm going to do it the opposite, the pink and the blue, but it just reminds me of a baby's card. So I kind of stay away from that. Like I do that in all my cards. If it's pink and blue like that, I tend to stay away from it. So let me just, where's that piece that I had already cut, the purple? All right, so this, I'm going to put the purple on here. I want this plain and this patterned. I'm going to cut a 4x4 square, and always cut from the bottom up, and then your measurements don't get wonky or off by just a little bit. It's always perfect. When you go down, your paper has a tendency to shift a bit. And look how perfect that is. 2 cuts, 2 perfect cuts. Now I'm going to pick a pattern. What I'm going to do, I think that one is going to work. Okay, so let's see. Is this 4 inches? That is exactly 4 inches. And then let's make it 1 inch. And then you'll just see with the way we put the papers on. So this still can be used on the inside of the card. And there we go. All right, so we're going to do that on the 2 different cards. I'm going to put this paper away, just out of the way here. Now, when you're working on the bookbinding card, you want to think about, how do I want to do the spine? Do I want to I want to glue this paper on. So let me see. I was going like with this. Where's my 1 inch piece? I think this was my 1 inch piece. Yep. And this was my 4 inch piece and the purple 1 inch piece. Okay, let's just keep sliding. Put these out of the way. I don't need those at the moment. I'm just going to glue this down. So I don't think you can go wrong with gluing the paper on the spine of that book right away. Okay. So the glue's not coming out. I have just an old sewing pin here. And I poke it in to get it open, and see, it's already popping out. So I'm leaving, now the fold is here, so I'm just eyeballing it, leaving 1/4 inch all around. And I know this one I could, no, I'm going to put this one, glue it right down as well. I'm going to decorate the card front, but I'm doing this solid here, and I'm going to decorate it a little differently than I usually do. Don't usually work with a solid like this. All right, so that one is glued down. Glue this on the spine. Like that ombre look. Looks really, really pretty. Just had a little glue seeping out the edge there. All right, I'm not going to stick this one on because I am doing something special with that. And you'll probably notice the design from one of our first cards, and then I stepped it up a bit in a second card a little later, but it was one of the very first designs that I showed you. Now on this one, I'm going to look at my ribbon. I'm going to pull my ribbon in and take a look at my ribbon and see, that's two. No. This one I do love. I love this ribbon, and I think I'm going to use that on there. I just love it. It's so soft and it just blends in really, really well with everything. All right. This, I do suggest you get the Stampin' Seal out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Stampin' Seal all on the inside here, because I'm going to stamp her shut. So on the inside of the card, you're not going to see this. Once this is all glued down, this part, you're not going to see it. And then I bring it around. Grab my scissors. Chop that off and bring it around and glue that in. Now, I'm going to glue this down. See, now I have my book binding. Then I'm going to add just a nice, cute little, I could make a bow. I have to go the other way. Kind of feeling like I'm backwards when I do it that way. And I'm just going to do a faux, just a knot, like this. There we go. Maybe slide it down. That adds something really cute to the card. Now on this one, so the card that I showed at the very beginning, so this is going to have a few colors in it. I should have made this the green. But you know what? I like the different colors. Because we have different colors in here, then it's not all monotone. So we peeled it. We just kind of took it and I'll show you what I did. Bring my scoring blade out because this will make a difference. So on here, I'm just going to put this like this. It doesn't matter how big it is or small, like however you make it. So I've made a fold there. So I can fold that back like that. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and just give it a little curl. So it sticks up like this, and I'm going to take I'm going to take a glue dot because I don't, all right, I'm going to take a glue dot. I think there's still one at the top here, and that's why I haven't taken it off. So I'll stick it right here, and then I'll just glue that down. And then that stays a little curled. Isn't that cute? I will glue this down. So this was one of the very first cards I showed you, a very simple design. And that's what I really want to stick with, is simple designs, cards that you can make quick, that are simple but still look elegant, really elegant. Now, to tie the green and the purple in, all right, this worked out. I've just glued the purple on there, said hello in the black, but it kind of looks like the purple, and then popped it on the green. And I will use some dimensionals. I thought I had some out. Nope, here they are. Now I'm near the, I have one left on here, but not to worry. There is still lots of dimensionals around the edge. So I just make cuts, and then I use that up as well. And then we're going to add some gems to it later. Now this card, I'm going to do a mat. If you're not sure how to do mats, go back to my matting video on how to do mats. But I'm going to do a matte in dark purple. Oh, that's Blackberry Bliss. And I have this purple that adds some brightness to it. Although I do like the dark because it picks up the dark in here. So that's how I just do it. You just match the paper up to here and say, okay, what do I want to do? Now I just want a small mat. This is a 4x4 square. It doesn't matter to me if it's really wide around the edge. What I'm going to do is make a mat, then do a white, I think a white on top of the mat, and I'm going to stamp it with a design. I haven't figured out what that's going to be yet, but look at this. Oh my gosh, like this floral paper is just so gorgeous. I looked at it in the catalog and I thought, what am I going to do with that? But it is gorgeous. So this is a 4x4. So let's do a 3x3. Three by 3. So it doesn't cover up that whole background, but it's just going to be a nice focal point in the middle. Pop that aside. And then I want a piece of white. And that I probably want 2 3/4. And 2 3/4. I just wanted to make sure I could get it out of. And that'll give me 1/4 of an inch all around. And 2 3/4. And that's going to go on there like that, but I'm not going to stamp. I'm going to stamp on it first. I'm going to do my design first before I glue it down. I think that darkness picks up the darkness over here, draws it together. And now I'm going to get a design. And since it's flowers, maybe the butterfly set would be really nice. And the hello over here with the butterfly. I think this one is too big. Yep, that's okay. We can do the next one. This one is the perfect size with hello. Now let's get a color that goes with that. Pick out some upside down, some Stampin' spots. These are classic. I wonder if there's a rich raspberry, which I think picks up. I'm going to see first. Always, excuse me, stamp it. So I don't know what rich raspberry looks like and if it will match this. So what I'll do is I will, the little ink spots I do it this way to stamp it up. And then I just stamp it on the paper. And I see, well, you know what? That is pretty close. I think I will use that. All right. So since these are red rubber stamps, I don't need the cushion underneath. Hello. Pick up the butterfly. going to see if I can do this. All right. So I picked up a Pretty in Pink, and I have the Rich Razzleberry. So the Pretty in Pink I'm going to do on the top, and if I cross over, that's okay. And that's where the ink spots work really, really well, is that I can then ink it up where I want. So I'm going to do that, Pretty in Pink here. Well, here you go. You get another treat in learning something, how to do double. So we're tying the colors in with the dark and the dark from here and the purple, but now I'm throwing a pink in. So I just set my ink spot down, I hold it into place to let the paper grab the ink, and then I lift it off. And look at, I have got pink and purple. Oh, I got purple there. We're gonna show put a gem there. Now the pink doesn't show up that much, but when you pop it onto here, I got ink on my thumb, it shows up. All right, let's glue this down. Get my dog was chewing on. I was like, what is he chewing on? And he was chewing on this. So I have to let that one side dry up. Also think I know I'm going to put this on an angle so that it's not so linear. That. I think we didn't glue this down yet, the bookbinding part. You can use the glue. The glue takes longer to dry, but I also find it's not as strong because this part comes apart. I've done it in the past, but I find the Stampin' seal has a stronger seal to it, and when you open it, it doesn't have a tendency to open everything else. Now I don't have ribbon on here, but I don't think I want to do white. I have a nice bright pink. I also have thread that is, ooh, I wonder what this would look like, because there's blue in here. We don't have a blue. The beginning of my ribbon. Just a minute. This is really, oh, I've got tape at the end, so let's cut that little piece off. I'm not sure if I want to do a faux bow or a full bow. The blue ties it in really nicely. So if you take 2 rabbit ears and cross them over and pull that one loop through, you get a bow like this. Let's get a glue dot. Always try to make sure that I look at this and make sure I get them all. Oh, and they're on the other side. I just felt one right here. I'll just put that on the glue dot. I do have to roll it a bit sometimes, just so. My tails to hang down. There we go. I just never know what ribbon I'm going to use. And now we need to do the inside and the envelope and the bedazzled jewels, the gems. I can go back to these gems. I think I'll put them on the side here. So I just made a slit in the side and I'll pull my gems out. I don't really think too much about where I'm going to put them, but this spine doesn't have a lot of pizzazz on it like I usually do for spines. And the white just picks up the color that's in there. And I could put some pink ones. I have to cover up that spot. And a little one here. Look at that. There is card number 1 done. Okay. With the, not yet, because I am going to show you how to do the envelope, how I did the envelopes as well, and the inside of the card. And this one, I think I'm going to do the same pack. Yes, I'm going to be using them up very, very quickly, but they are so gorgeous. So, so gorgeous. I think. One here. And little one there. And there's card number 2. So there's our 2 cards. On the inside of the card, burnish that down a bit. I'm going to put, oh, let me stamp on these. So I always stamp first, as if I'm, for the very reason that if I make a mistake, I can't often turn this over because it is just copy paper, and so you often see it through. So then I just throw it out, start over. Oh, I love the font on that. That is so gorgeous. Again, just tap, tap, tap. So just get it on the, where I want the ink. And once I started doing that, that made all the difference in the world, because I would have such ink-stained hands, and then I would touch my work, and then my work would get all stained all over, and then I'd have to start over. So it is very important to tap gently like that and not get the ink all over yourself. So you want to keep your work area clean. So I cut this copy paper in 4x4 and put this on the inside. And I use the Stampin' seal. Because it is copy paper, if you can use cardstock in here as well. I just find if I'm going to mail it, the cardstock adds more weight to my card. Now with these papers, the patterns that I have, what pattern did I have on the front here? Oh, both of them. Okay. I'm going to just cut this down so I can decorate the inside of the card. This is too small, and those are different colors. So I just want a 4" by 1". Don't know why I'm doing it that way. It's upside down for me. So 4". I think if I just cut this in half, I'll just have one Oh, that's, it's a little wide, but you know what? I'm not going to trim it down anymore. It's going to be just fine. Now you can decide whether you want this on the bottom of the card or the side of the card. I'm going to put it on the side, or you could put it over here. I think I may do that because, oh, I do like that. All right. Now I can do this with glue, as the designer series paper is thicker than a cardstock, and it accepts the glue really well. It doesn't buckle. There's the inside of the card. It's really fun to dress up the inside of the card, and the next I'm going to show you the envelope. And when you dress up the inside of the card, you could stamp designs. I could stamp, oh, well, let's show you that. I could stamp little butterflies on here. These, no, I don't want that many butterflies. I could stamp that one. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. All right. So I've got 4 butterflies. I could cut one off. I don't want to do that yet. Oh, if I do that the right way. What color did I use? I used the Rich Razzleberry. I just need to ink up one of the butterflies. And I think I'm going to put them right there. And take my ink spot. Let's tap the stamp. I'm going to do it down here, and just a nice soft pink right here. I usually have lots of paper to do my envelopes, like leftovers, but I don't this time. So usually from a 6x6, I can cut this 4-inch square and a strip here, and then still have some for my envelope and the inside of the card. But I did not this time. So I'll show you how I do the envelopes. Now, every envelope flap is different, so there's no sense doing a template, and that takes a lot of work. All right, let's focus on one at a time. What I'm going to do is just cover the flap in glue, especially around the edge. And I take my piece, and I can go by the bottom here or the top of the envelope. It doesn't really matter. I'll show you both ways. This one I'm doing by the top of the envelope, and then I just secure this down. Then I flip it over, and then I take my little scissors and I trim the excess off. And there's the envelope to match the bookbinding card. All right. Now on this one, I'm just going to trim these excess pieces off. Let's put the glue on the envelope, and I'll show you how you do it with the flap, the bottom of the flap. I'm just going to measure with the bottom of the flap. Secure that down. This, you just have to be careful you don't cut the envelope, otherwise you'll have a hole in the flap. So you can decide which way you want to do it. Either way works. This way you just have to be a little bit more careful. But there we go. And then we have another piece left for another envelope. And there's our 2 cards. Book binding, measured properly, no trimming off. Perfect. Measurements are really critical. And we just did a little differently. This is this little bent, just designer series paper in the bend, I have done in a couple of different places. I could put a gem there as well. I've done that before. Should I put pink on or white? It's hard to say. Oh, I think I put these light pinks on. Just there. And just dress that up a bit. See what a difference that makes? Just following the directions. And I love that this creates like a place to put a picture on, or to put a huge sentiment on there. There are some stamps we have that they're huge sentiments, and that would be great to put across there as well. So I've just decorated the spine of the book, so to speak, of the card, and you can just dress this up so it gives a nice background for everything. And I love decorating the flap of the card and the inside of the card, and it just brings it all together so beautifully, so beautifully. And this was our other card that we made, and so I did it the reverse. I put the pattern over here and just the one color over here, and then tied a bow on here instead of the dots, and just a little hello, and curled this back. This little curl, this type of design this is about the 3rd video I've used it. So, and it's just, you'll look at it and think, is that same design? Yeah, just go back and look at things. And matting, you know, just matted this little white card to put on here as well, just made that pop as well. So there we go, bookbinding card done properly. So thank you for joining me tonight. Listen, celebration is still going on. It only happens once a year, and it happens every January and February with Stampin' Up. And if you spend $75 on products and you go to the sale part of it, last chance and things going out of stock, quite often they're on sale, and that's how I get a lot of my ribbon. I get it through the on sale part, and my paper, and my designer paper. Like, I go there first and look, because I feel like I'm getting really a lot of money. I'm not into the most current, up-to-date stamps or paper, although this paper pack that I'm working with, this here, is a free paper pack. It's one of those free ones that you can get. So you can't even buy it. You have to spend $75, and that's what you can pick. So there's a number of items to pick from, and it's just a great opportunity to get started. If you're not sure where to get started, go back to my videos on where to start. Do I really need? I have a video on that as well. I just want to help you through the process. When you sit down and look at the catalog, it's overwhelming, very overwhelming. However, I want to show you step by step that card making is simple, it is easy, it is fun. If we can stop getting our knickers in a twist, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. I've been doing cards for a number of years now, and I still, like last Thursday, got my knickers in a twist, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just come back and show you the right way. Here I am. So all the links are down below. the link to my store, which is where the catalog is, and then you can order from there. The link to my Facebook page, the link to if you want to join my team and be a consultant, or the paper pumpkin. I think I'm going to show you that the next time. Paper pumpkin on Thursday night. The kits. Those are really, so I'm going to talk about that. Love to give it. Well, this is what I'm going to do next time. So I'm going to do the paper pumpkin, which is a monthly subscription. It comes all together. And I'm going to talk about the benefits of a kit subscription like this. I'm going to share about, you'll have to come back next on Thursday night to find out about that. But I love that you have joined me tonight. I love hanging out with you guys. And drop me a comment. Just drop me a comment, or drop me a comment of where you are. Drop me a comment of how your weather is. It's very cold here. We're having snow, a dump of snow again tonight. So it looks beautiful out. It looks gorgeous out. And we have to shovel it or plow it. I just get my son-in-law to get the tractor and the snowblower, so I'm very fortunate. But yes, we're having a dump of snow, and then work had a power outage, so I got to leave early, and so that was a bonus as well. You can connect with me by writing a comment down below or emailing me at kissupcards@gmail.com. So thank you for joining me, and it's all about sharing kindness, one card at a time.